The president of China has just delivered his remarks to the General Assembly there in New York. He has announced a series of new commitments to assist the United Nations. What more can you tell us about his speech?
Well, yes, the Chinese president delivered a speech that was quite broad-ranging, beginning with the 70-year history, China being the first country to sign on to the UN Charter. He talked about security and climate change. But then he saved the best of his speech for last when he announced this range of pledges and of new pledges and commitment. Now, we just heard him talking about the $1 billion a year peace and development fund to help support the UN's work. And then we heard his commitment, 8,000 troops to UN peacekeeping, saying that China wants to play a leading role here. But the interesting thing is that China is already in a leading position. Out of the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, China is the biggest contributor of troops and resources to UN peacekeeping. Now, we also heard that China is promising $100 million over 5 years to the African Union. This is to help them better and more immediately respond to regional crises. Now, these sizable commitments came as President Xi also told the members of the General Assembly that China's vote at the United Nations will always belong to developing countries. And he expressed support for a greater voice from the developing world in the international system, especially from African nations. Now, these commitments drew applause from the Assembly and come on top of other pledges and commitments we heard from President Xi in the days preceding this big, high-powered week of debate in which he promised $2 billion to the Sustainable Development Goals. That's the post-2015 agenda for reducing poverty and helping to address climate change. And the plan is to extend that figure to $12 billion over the 15-year period. He also promised to forgive debt due this year to China by some of the world's poorest countries. So we're seeing a lot of new commitments in development to help security, to help address security issues and also fight climate change.